Hey everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts. I'm back again, and before I get started with the embossing, real quick, Michael, you and I had the same idea to do earrings, and I also did a smaller little pendant. And on these smaller shapes, you can easily get away with just doing one layer. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so tongue-tied. My camera is just weird. I'm just going to say. It's just weird. I wanted to flash yellow, 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 and then it went to flashing green. So I don't know what I did wrong. No, it looks maybe like you're in focus this time. But anyway, it was easy enough to do just the one layer. And if you've got a texture sheet, now if you're just using rubber stamps, you're probably still going to have to do 2 layers. Stick for me. This is what I did. I just stuck those little pieces down, and then with my same little swirly stamp, miss that edge just a bit, fill that in. Give it a little stamping. It's a little harder with the smaller. The harder part is for me to get it turned around the way I want it. Oh no. Oh no, this way. Gee, why was that hard? Don't like that. There we go. Yeah, alright. With earrings, you can get away with it being a little bit thinner. And this pendant, I'll probably put 2 holes and have it hang this way. So the thinness won't be quite as bad. These, I was totally afraid just the thin. And of course you could always do it, just roll it out with your acrylic roller and do it really thick. So you can just disregard the first video. No, I still think doing it in 2 layers is the way to go on the big one. Let's go this way. I don't even know. Yeah. I knew I'd figure out how I had it on the full-sized one. Wow. It's hard to get it to fit. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. And then of course when you peel it off, it's back and front. So there we go. Some earring ones. And a smaller pendant. Those would probably be easy enough on my polyfill, and I've shown that before, that I just bake on a pile of polyfill like you stuff a doll with. These will be easy enough to lay in there where they're shaped pretty well on the polyfill. This one I will bake on the pattern once I curve it and everything. So, alright, I'll be back after I get all my embossing powders out, and we'll get started embossing those. I'm going to stick these in the oven in the meantime. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if I can be in focus. I've come back and I've got some embossing powders. Polymer pulled out of my bottom drawer because it's a little more difficult to get to. I may pull out more from my other drawer that's easier to get to. But where to start? Where to start? I have taken the silver ones and done the silver rubbing buff. I'm gonna keep saying that. The silver Inca gold and the gold on the gold ones, obviously. So let's see where to start. Where to start? I think I'm gonna start with the gold one. And you never know. You never know what they're going to look like on any particular color, and I've shown what these look like on white and on black, but I'm going to start with the Lindy Stamp Gangs, and I've got excuse me, I've got the Midnight Copper, the Midnight Bronze, and the Midnight Gold are the ones that I've pulled out that we're going to start with. So I've got my Versamark pad, and here's what I did on the other one. I'm going to start with one of the blue ones. All I did was take my, that's a good right there, my pad, and just rubbed it over the top. I don't want to fill in the details. I want those to be what stands out. Alright, I'll put my lid back on. And I think I'll start with the copper. And since this is just such a small piece, I'm actually going to start by just dipping the corner. Maybe. Mainly right now I want to see what it's going to look like. If it's going to look more black, I'm going to try something else. Alright, heat gun. And when I'm doing clay, I always let my heat gun heat up off to the side. I want it good and hot before I ever get it over the piece. And then I'm going to start way back here, where you're going to think there's no way that's ever going to get hot enough. But oh yes it will. But of course it's also going to flatten out your piece a little bit. And it will be warm. I'm not going to story to you. My family says I have asbestos hands, but I always thought that just meant in the kitchen sink as an excuse to keep from doing dishes. I do not know how well y'all are going to be able to see that. Man, I hate having my camera on the tripod because I can't see what y'all can see. It's just quite annoying. Alright, and since that will have dried my Versamark out quite a bit, let's see. On these little ones, it's going to be hard to really have a pattern of any kind. Where is my... This is just my scrap of paper to save my embossing powder on. Just like glitter, always pour it back in. Alright. That was the bronze, the midnight bronze. Wow, is that a pretty color. And then one more time. And of course you don't have to cover the whole thing. That was the whole point of putting the Inca Gold on there. Was in case we missed anywhere. There would be something pretty underneath. Now this time, while it's hot, after I heat this bit, I've got my Judikins in the garnet. Let me see if I can give you a shot of what that looks like in the jar. So while it's hot, I think I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of that on. See what happens. Wow, that gold is really pretty. You know I'd rather done that over my paper, but did I? Did I? No. Alright, well, I saved most of it. Now, if you keep going too much on these smaller ones, you're going to start to lose your detail quite a bit, and I don't want to do that. It really is very pretty. So that's how I'll do the gold set. Alright, let's go to one of the silver ones. Now on this one, that, close up the garnet. This time I've gotten out my lapis lazuli in the Judikins. And these are what I've just ordered, some more of these Judikins embossing powders. I absolutely love them. And I have some other favorites too. I need to try to order. I love the Stampendous embossing powders also. They've got embossing powder sticking to embossing powder. Alright, keep that open for a minute. And of course, when it comes to decorating them, you can pretty much do whatever. You could do half and half like that. Do two different colored halves. our weather here is finally warming up. I think one day this next 10-day period we're supposed to have a couple of mornings where it's going to be around freezing, but other than that, the days are being in the mid 50s to it was almost 90 yesterday. So bear bear that in mind, rest of the country. The warm is coming. Let's see, I just can't make up my mind. Too many choices. I've got two blues here. I've got the Venus Violet blue in the Lindy Stamp Gang. And then this one is the Twilight Blue Slate, which I actually think I used a little bit of on another one. So let's go with this one, the Venus Violet Blue. Where do I want that? I'm going to do on the ears, as you want to say. Oh yeah, because this is a purpley. Let me see if I can show you inside. A purpley blue. And this ought to be pretty. Alright, now for the center, let's try something a little different. Let's see what I got. I said I want to try it. I've got the Ranger. It's from the Ancient Gold collection. This one's the African Gold, which has, if you can see, some silver in it also, which I really like. I kind of let that willy-nilly stick wherever it wants to. Oh yeah. You know, when you add the sparkle, that's when I get happy. Please let go. Thought if I save myself some heartache. Alright. And since my heat gun's been hot since the first time, I don't have to keep reheating it off to the side. Alright. Really pretty. These are going to be so pretty. And of course, because it's embossed. Okay. My camera did not want to focus. There is one of the gold ones and one of the silver ones. Really, really pretty. I'm going to do this one next and then we'll call it good. I'll try to get my tripod set back up again, see if I can get it to focus before I start. It's crazy. Okay, we'll see if that'll work. It's a lunacy. I'm going to stick with the colors that I already started with for the earrings. So, let's get a little of that lapis on there first. And I use this one quite a bit. I really like this color. Really pretty blue with a gold in it. And of course, you know, I got the embossing powder on the back of this paper. Somewhere. And for anybody that wants to emboss, if you don't have a heat gun, when you're doing this on clay, you can throw this right back in the oven. And it will definitely melt. As long as you're not putting tons or using, you know, a lot of UD or something, it'll stay right where it's supposed to. It won't run or anything. So, let's see. There's the lapis. Alright. Now, let's go with, and while it's super hot like that, most of the embossing powders will stick to it even without the Versamark. Alright. And I can't stress enough to stay back plenty far, because you will burn the clay. Polymer clay burns at a lower temperature than your heat gun will get. Your heat gun will get 300 degrees, and the polymer clay will start to darken at that temperature, at that color. It'll change color is what it'll do. Alright, and then last but not least, let's find our pretty African gold here. And like I said, depending on how warm this still is, it will stick everywhere. But it wasn't too warm, luckily. Alright. Embossing paper, you're going in the trash after this, I do believe. Alright. And there we are. Man. Draw it in there a little bit. If you had a little dish of, you know, a little sandwich container or whatever full of cold water, when this comes out, you could hold it for just a second in its shape, and then hold it down under the water, and it'll cool really quickly right back into shape. So there we go. Those are going to be so pretty. So pretty. I hope y'all can see how pretty that is. Alright, just a quick demonstration on embossing on some polymer clay, and there are other ways to use embossing powder with polymer clay as well, and I will definitely be coming back with more tutorials on different things, using embossing powder with polymer clay, rubber stamps and embossing powder and polymer clay, just all kinds of things. So stay tuned. And there we go for today's really pretty mask. I'm in love with that one. And again, I'm saving this one because I did just order those new embossing powders, and one of the ones I got is the Peacock, Extreme Peacock, I think it's called, and I can't wait to see what that's going to look like on here. So, alright, that wraps it up, and I shall be back, and I will holler at y'all later. Bye now.